Hey guys, I'm Rick, and that is One Big Pile of Bricks with the amazing Donny Chen, Lego Ideas Grand Piano. Submission, awesome dude. Hey
Thank
Donny,
you.
thanks for joining
Well,
us.
thank you for inviting me.
Anytime, man. So, how's it been launching a product with Lego? What's it like?
Well, it definitely feels great. Well, you see your image, see your product in all the Lego shops that you go to that can deal it to everyone around the world, all the Lego fans. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, it'd been an amazing experience getting your product selected. We've known a few people over the time. Brent Waller,
Yes.
in particular, we're quite close with
yes.
him, and obviously he's been lucky enough to have a few ideas.
Yeah.
I can see you've brought a few items with us today. You've got a bicycle here. Let's
Yep.
talk about what's happening with this item here.
That's a new submission for the Lego ideas. So after the grand piano, I want to try to find some other things to create, not really musical instrument, but some other objects. So that's a replica of a wheel bicycle. It got all the functions, and got the working brakes and keychain, and even a little bike lock and things like that. Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Has it
Thank
been
you.
put up on the Lego Ideas website
Yes.
yet?
I put it up on July last year.
Oh, cool.
So now it's just under 6,000 volt at the moment.
Wow, that's
Okay.
tracking really well,
So
right?
we're
Pretty
aiming
good.
to get to 10,000 votes, and then obviously it goes to Lego to be submitted as a
Yep.
potential idea.
Yes.
How long did that take, that whole process? How long did that take when you submitted the grand piano design?
That was a lot faster. So it took 60 days from for the 10K volt.
That's amazing,
Yes.
isn't it?
That's
It's quite fast.
Is
It's like
that would be one of the
unexpected.
fastest, I would assume, right? Like,
It was. I'm not sure that was before this 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that not many people are on Lego Idea as compared to now. So but that's pretty fast. I think in general.
Yeah, 10,000 people liked your idea and voted for your idea in 60 days. Unbelievable.
That was
well
my
done.
fault.
it would have
Yeah.
been- it's one of the, I think, too, anybody, and a particular Lego fan like yourself, the aim is to have your own Lego set, and effectively
Yes.
you've done that.
Yes.
And it's tracking quite well. We sell quite a few of them, don't we, Caroline? We sell
Oh, we
Yeah.
sell
sell a lot
lots
of them
and
in
lots of
store.
them.
Oh,
So,
cool.
obviously, the final product is not your design. It is based on your design.
Yes.
But the Lego designers, they take your initial concept away and then they look at which pieces they have available and how it will all function together and whether or not the set itself will hold together. In a home environment, for instance, and they change a few things, but essentially it is your design, and you do get a percentage of sales, don't you?
Yes, I got 1% of the sale. I'm not sure exactly how they do the calculations,
Yes.
but 1%. That's
Which is
yes.
quite well, like,
It's an amazing-
Lego's a
Yes,
massive
pretty
company.
good, yes.
They sell millions of Lego sets, so I think it's a brilliant thing. There's been a couple of times over the years, there's been a few instances in the past that, some people have been upset because, it's a big company. But, anyone's likely to be kicked back any sort of percentage of anything they sell, considering
Yes.
Lego's such a global company.
Yes.
And the piano was such an amazing product and a high value product because, it was one of, I think it is the
Expensive.
most expensive Lego Ideas item, right?
But you
I think
can
it's still,
understand,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it is too. I don't think much has changed since.
Expensive, but it's well worth it, isn't it?
It got all the power function battery box inside. That definitely
It's
bumped
got
up
a
the
lot.
price.
I don't
yeah.
think people realize when they see the box, and obviously we don't have one on
Yes.
display. We should have, but we didn't. But it
No.
happens.
You can't build
We
everything.
can't build
Rick.
everything, but I don't think people realize how much goes into the process of the Lego Ideas process in the design process. So explain to us what's it like dealing with Lego on a personal basis to get the final product. What is it like?
So basically, after you got 10,000 volt, they will put your submission into review, and they will tell you whether it's passed the review or not. If it passed the review, it take another extra year to do the develop process to design the set, and then it becomes a product. And for my project, it actually took two. Every Lego idea round is about four months.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3-4 months for each round. And then my one actually took 2 rounds of reviews because it was a
Wow.
little bit more complicated. So
Yes.
the first time they announced, okay, it's still under review. We need to take
Yeah.
a little bit more time to look into the project and see whether it's feasible to produce or not. So my piano actually passed 10,000 volt on January, and then it was announced on I think September or
Yeah, it was
August.
quite a long
Yeah,
period. I
quite a
remember
long
because
period,
in that period, the biggest problem I think they have with Lego Ideas is that everyone tries to submit an IP. And IP stuff is hard. Like, it is always
Yes,
hard.
it's
you know?
hard. It's always
Star
hard.
Wars and all that. So you can't do them. So, like,
Yeah.
I think with the amount of submissions they've been getting, especially lately, it's like some products there's like 60 or 70 in review now, and there's only one or two. Sometimes they deny it.
Last round was 53. I know.
That's a lot.
Wow.
They got 2 hour 53.
Wow.
Only 2 hour 53.
That's amazing. And with your first product that you submitted and the product that we have now that we see that you can buy pretty much in every store, is there a major difference between your product and their product, or is it pretty much close to the same?
It's actually quite different. So initially when I designed the product, I didn't think about whatever product quality or stability or other things. So I've just put bricks. However, A4 likes to do
Yes.
it. No
just
little
building
techniques. You just
whatever,
build
right?
whatever
Yeah.
you want
don't
to.
have to worry about stability
Yeah, exactly.
at all.
So basically, that's the submission that I put in, and so basically they have to redesign the whole thing. So for example, on the base of the piano, basically when I built it was just plate stacked together. So now it's actually bricks on a horizontal way.
Oh, wow, cool.
So it's
Oh, that's
different way.
clever.
Yes. So it's more sturdy, and then it's easier to build as well. So it's very hard to put 2 plates together. When you press them together, it's very hard to build them. So that's one of the major changes. They changed how they construct the whole piano. The other thing is when in my original submissions, I actually have different moving speed on the keys. So the middle part actually moves a little bit faster, and the side it moves a little bit slower. So it actually creates illusion that it's playing randomly, so not really repeat in a way. So but that's a bit too complicated to put into the actual model.
Yeah.
So they actually cut that one off. But they improved the pedal sections. I think
Wow.
it's actually better than the original submission that I had. I think that's a major difference. One of the other major difference is in the original submission there's no sound coming out from a piano.
Yeah.
That's I don't have the the apps, and I don't have the cell phone connections and things. And that's the other thing they add in there. So
Tell us about the song.
yes, that's the piece I actually created for when I recorded video to promote my project. So I was looking for background music to suit the video I created. I wanted to have a pause to go to a climax and then go back. I keep looking, I couldn't find one. I was like, okay, I'll just try to compose one.
Because you're a piano teacher, why not, right?
Yes, why not? So I composed that music for the video for the submissions, and then after they approved my project, they asked me like, what do you want to put into your set as your signature? You know how you have the tree house, they have the signature. Every single idea project, they try to put a little bit some elements for the to represent the creator. So they asked me like, what do you want to put it in? Like, do you want to put in your signature and things? And they already told me, and that it's gonna be like a play a piano that you can press the key, the sounds come out. I was like, okay, so can I just put the music on?
Yeah.
There's okay, I think we can do that. So that's how it ends up putting the music into the app. So now every single one, you have the app, then you can hear my compositions.
You get a song and you get a Lego model.
Yes, it's quite unique. So because beside you have your Lego sets, and then you also have your music in compositions inside the set as well, so everyone can hear it.
Yeah, wow. You'll have lots of stories to tell your son when he's older.
Oh yes,
So, look,
this morning when I was bringing out the little creations, he was crying. He really wanted to play with it, because he's not allowed to touch it at the moment. He's like 18 months, so
Oh yes.
so he was
I
like,
think it's hard too with kids because like Lego is a kid's product, but most now they're designing a lot more adult related sets, and it's hard to explain to the kids like, hey,
you can't touch this.
yeah, especially when like something like this where you've made things move, like
yes,
and you know that when he gets it, it's gonna be
Yes.
yes.
Can you tell us, you've brought in quite a few models today, but could you tell us perhaps about the typewriter that you've brought in?
Yes, this is my latest one. So when I was submitting my piano project, it's actually the same time I saw the typewriter. I really like it.
Yes.
And then the one that they're selling now.
Yes.
And then after they release it, and then I find it's not a small one. So I always have the concept that I want to create a smaller typewriter.
Yes.
And then this is what I came up with. So with all the similar function that you can actually press all the keys and then the spectrum rolls and then you have the little.
That's pretty amazing.
Things,
You could,
yes.
you should. Have you submitted it as Lego ideas? Maybe you should. They might release a smaller one.
They
I don't
might.
think I don't think they will, but because they would have some the big one.
They do.
Yeah, the
yeah.
big one's
Right?
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I actually know the guy who submitted the ideas for the
Yeah,
big one.
yeah,
Yeah, he's
yeah.
quite a nice guy. He was on Lego Masters in the UK.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I
yes.
think he won the first season. I think.
Yes, I
Steve.
think it was he won the
The
first
actual,
season,
like,
and then
proper
he
first season,
he
yeah.
and then he submitted the idea after he won the first season. I think.
Yeah.
He's a big fan of typewriter.
Yeah, he's a massive fan. He built like there's like a massive, I don't know, explain it, like a massive statue they built for the finale. It was on display in Billund for a long time. We didn't get to go there because, the
Yeah.
world's been a bit weird the last couple of years. So, but you've been obviously to Billund. Like, explain to us how
Yes.
you went there, what made you go to Billund to visit the home of the brick effectively.
Yes, because it was actually me and my wife actually planned to go to Europe for holidays.
Yeah.
And back in 2018, that was 18 or 19? Wait, sorry, my bad. 18, 2018. Yes. Hey, wait.
It's hard to remember. We've all
It's hard
lost
to
2
remember.
years.
It's a lot,
We lost
yeah.
2 years. Whatever.
Yes.
So 18,
Yes.
either 18 or 19. So
Yes.
and then my piano project got approved. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna be around, Denmark in those 2 weeks. Can I just come and visit? The
Yeah.
brick of the house. It was like,
course.
yes, of course you can come. Like they even invite me to they have to announce the project. They
Yeah.
even invite me to join the live stream.
Wow.
But I was actually just a couple of days missed because I
Oh, wow,
I
yeah.
bought all the flights and all the hotels
And Lego are
visas.
very about structure. So the
Yeah.
big thing, we've visited Billund a couple of times. When they slot you in, that's the time you're visiting.
Yes,
They
yes,
don't like
yes.
changing much things, because
Yes.
they're such a big company and they've got a lot of stuff going
But
on.
what
Yes.
an honour, nevertheless.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so then I actually got to meet the designer Wunzer, is that
Oh, cool,
the one that do my pianos. I also get to meet Sam.
Yeah, Sam's
Yes,
a really
yeah,
nice
he's
guy.
a funny guy.
Sam's
Yes,
a really,
yes,
really nice guy.
He's a nice guy, and then also get to meet Mike Pisaki.
Oh, cool, yeah,
Yes,
Mike's cool,
he's
yeah.
my favorite model designer, and also Carl.
Oh, wow,
Yes,
awesome,
yes, yes. So we talk a bit about how to design, how to change a submission into an actual product and the things that you have to
Wow.
go through. That I asked a couple of questions. So I got a lot more understanding on how the how this whole Lego idea system works. So after you do a submission, after you created a submission, they approve it. They have to actually rethink about a lot other elements. So basically they after you got a submission, after they approve, they will have a designer to handle your submission.
Wow.
Then they will have to redesign the whole thing. They don't particularly base on the submission that you have to kind of change around this section or that section. They just now we have for example, we have a bicycle.
Yep.
And then I'll just start from scratch. I'm gonna build a bicycle.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not really like, I'm going to change this part to build in a bicycle. Of course, your submission will give them a concept and how big this model is going to be, how some of the function then going to be, but they will start their own designs. Right? And then after, so you can see the final product and the idea submission sometimes is quite different.
Yeah,
You
we've
know,
had
you
a
have
few
to-
people complain online about stuff because
Yeah.
part availability is a big deal right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
In the world that we're in, BrickLink is available for everybody. You can buy whatever parts known that Lego's ever created, but they might not make it anymore. And if you put it in submission, Lego might not be putting it in because it's too expensive.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes, that's right. And all the other important part, I think, is the instruction making. That's a huge part of
Wow.
Lego model making because for example, if you make the instruction, you have a product that might not. How do I put this words like this? So after you have products out, this product might not be targeting all adult fans. So you don't really know who's buying this product.
Yeah.
So you expect them to just be able to look at the instruction, no matter how experienced you're with Lego. That might be your first Lego set.
Yeah,
You
okay,
should be
yeah.
able to actually put the whole sets together without any problem, just by
Yes.
following the instructions. So that's a very important part of the design process. I would
Yes.
say yes.
Wow, that's amazing. What an amazing opportunity to not only go to Billund, because, it's lucky enough to go there because it is in the middle of nowhere. No one realizes it's actually in the middle
Very
of
much in the countryside, isn't it? Yes.
But to get the insight of the guys behind the product and picking their brain, because then it prepares you for later. Like you've submitted this idea, which hopefully gets 10,000 likes.
Hopefully. Yes.
If it doesn't, I will put a link. You know, if it's not by then, but
we'll put our votes in as
We'll
well.
put our votes in. Like I voted for it ages ago, but I'll get Caroline to
put
set up
mine
an
in.
account to vote.
Yeah, that's what
It's
we'll
one of
do,
those things. I
yes.
think to bring a product to life, which is realistic, is hard. The piano is amazing, but the bike in itself, seeing the bike up close, being able to view it in person is such a big thing.
It's like, wow.
Do you think it's different to how you see it on?
Yeah, I think so too. I think photos don't do a lot of justice. It's like Lego sets, right? When you look at the grand piano box, it doesn't really show you how actually beautiful the product is, right?
Yeah. It doesn't show you the inside.
All the beautiful
the
sort of
mechanics,
like
yes.
weird
the
stuff.
mechanics, you
Yeah.
know, if you showed this to, well, for instance, you're a piano technician and you can see and really appreciate the inner workings of the model.
Yes, I think that's the main difference that separate this particular model to other model. That's why I think this is more. It is stand out as a Lego idea set because I actually try to recreate the actual mechanism inside a real piano with Lego bricks. So when the piano was released, it often get compared to other model, the sale price and other things. The most one it got compared to is Lamborghini. It's the same.
Yeah.
And then I always got asked a question about whether I should get a Lamborghini or should I get the piano. Get the piano.
Get the piano, right?
Get the piano. Yes. So they will ask me like, what's the major difference on those two models? They're both like based on the real product on real life. I would say okay. So for example, if a Lamborghini, you don't really have 2/3 of your cars as your gearbox. That's what I say.
Yeah, well, that's when you really
that's
think
why
about
I
it.
say
Yeah.
So you do create the function of the gearbox, but it's not really exactly the same how a gearbox works. It's a lot different to the engine. But as a piano, it's actually very similar to how a real piano works. So if you show this one to a pianist or piano teacher who owns a grand piano, and then they will know exactly how to take out the keyboard sections.
Well, we know somebody, Michelle, a friend of the store. She purchased one off us, and she said it was amazing. She teaches piano, and she's like, wow. And I think to have a product that piano, teachers and technicians can appreciate is a big deal. Yes, it's really easy to upset people going, it's missing this part or like.
Yes. So this is one of the initial idea when I was creating it. I was trying to capture all the elements, all the functions on the real pianos. As well. So because I always wanted to have a model piano because I myself teach piano as well. So I want to have a model piano that can show my student how the inner mechanism works. I always get asked this question like by the little young like 4 or 5 years. So like, what's inside the piano? How does it work? Where's the sound comes out from? So if I have a little model kits, then I can just show them by pulling the little model kit out. I don't have to disassemble my own piano. So that's like the initial idea that why I created this model. So I want to have a little model piano that I can show my students how the piano actually works.
And now piano teachers everywhere can get their own piano models.
It's actually it's a really pretty model. I know people compare pricing and stuff, and because it's such a high value item, but I don't think people can appreciate how detailed it is inside. Like the process that went into creating it, it's very rare Lego are doing such big. Like now, they're doing big pieces. But when this first launched, they weren't releasing big models. Where now you've got.
I think it's still the most expensive model on Idea lineup.
I think it is until they'll bring out something else.
Until the Home Alone comes, that tops the piece count.
But this has so many people who might not necessarily collect or build Lego have an emotional connection to this.
Yes.
We notice when
I think that's also why it's quite successful in the voting stage as well, because people are quite connected. So I have like music fans and things, and when I showed them, they was I want to build it.
That's right. We had a lot of music fans coming and ordering this.
The fans that both on music and both in Lego, they will like it.
Exactly. Well, it's an amazing achievement, especially considering you never really had Lego as a child, did you?
Not really. I used to go to my friend's house to play Legos. I don't really own one because back then Lego is not cheap. It's expensive toy. Yes. So my friend had a Lego kit. I still remember it was a hot rod set. The blue one. Yes. I used to go to his place and play it. And then when I really started buying my own Lego set was about 10 12 years ago. That's when I
Wow,
really
so
started
you're
to buy.
relatively,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say new, but you're relatively new to like Lego collecting and Lego building.
Yes, yes. So no, especially when you look at the modular building lineup.
Yeah,
You know,
there's
you're
a
just
lot.
like,
Yeah.
okay, I miss a lot.
Yeah, I'm
in
only
those
missing the
projects.
first two, but the problem is
Yeah.
with me is that when we could travel, I'd go overseas and you stumble across them in stores. You always
Oh, really?
find them, right? Yeah, yeah. So I've found like the cafe corner and the market street multiple times. The problem is
That's cool.
the businessman in me is like, they're $2,000 now.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem, right? Because
Yes,
it's
yes,
such a
yes,
high
yes.
value item. But I love the modulars. That's the one thing that got me into Lego, like majorly into Lego,
Yes,
was the
yes.
modular line.
I think that's one of the main one that I collect as well. Now at the moment I collect the modular buildings. I collect
cool.
the Speed Champions.
Yeah.
I also collect the Technic car, the Lamborghini, the
Yeah.
Porsche.
Yes.
Those one, the big Technic cars. I think
Yep.
those are the few that I collect. Yeah.
Wow. Do you collect any of the other ideas models, or you just
Well,
got your own,
depends.
obviously? Like,
Depends whether I like it. I have the typewriter. I have the treehouse. I have the Wall-E.
oh, cool. Yeah, Wally was
Yes.
really good.
Yes, and some others as well. It just depends. And also have the Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't built it yet. And the Pirate Bay Bookman.
Oh yeah,
Yes, yes.
they
I have
just
that one.
retired Pirates of the
Oh
Barracuda
yes,
Bay.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
I
a
was
big announcement
surprised.
about. Yeah,
I was
me too. I
surprised.
was like, so because I've always wanted one. Because you know, when you sell that, you're like, oh, I'll get it later. And as soon as they announce, I was like, to get two of them, like I say, yeah, I'm pretty happy. It's pretty amazing.
I mean, as well as building all these Lego official Lego sets, you've been building a lot of other things that we can see over on this
There's
table
some of
too.
those small builds and one that's a SpongeBob that I've built recently.
Yeah,
It's
I saw
cool.
that on Instagram
Yeah,
very
yes, yes, yes.
recently.
It's very small, like a breakfast size, but actually got a lot of little small details in it. You can see the inside of the tongues.
Oh, cool.
Of those and those ones, some of those ones.
It's not that easy to create something that is so
That one
small,
took me
is it?
about 2 weeks to create. Like if you think about designing it, it's actually a very small one that
It
takes
is.
2 weeks. That actually take 2 weeks as well.
Oh, wow. But even
That's
though
the same.
it's small, I mean,
Yeah.
you have to put a lot of detail into such a small area. So
Yes,
that's a
yes,
challenge,
yes.
right?
Yes, that's a big challenge. So you just try to cram as much detail as you want, and then
Yeah,
you try
yeah.
to build it as as detailed. No, you try to build it as close to the actual things
right.
as much as possible. Yes.
That'd be probably more accurate than the Lego version they had. Have you ever seen the Lego one they had?
Yes,
It
the
was
big
like-
one. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and I, you know, licensing and everything, it happens.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
like, it's one of those things I always appreciate when I go to big Lego events, the smaller models,
Yes.
Yes.
because the detail to me is what
They're,
crucial.
they're
right?
actually much harder to build when you think about the smaller model because you don't have that much space to work with.
Yeah, that's
The
Yeah,
Lego
and-
bricks are that size that you don't change the size for the
You can
Lego
eat
bricks.
like, I'm not saying it's easy because you know Brickman. will
not
criticize
It's a
me.
different style.
It's
It's
not
very
easy
different
to build a
style.
big
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
but like, you know, it's easier to build on a bigger scale because you can stand back and appreciate it a lot more. With the smaller scale, you got to make sure you get all like
the
little
details.
small
I think it's
details.
different focus when you're building big and building small. So compared to the Barticle and the typewriter, the Barticle is actually a lot more challenging to build because it has stability issue as well. When you
Yeah.
build bigger,
When you handed
the
it
whole
to me
thing-
before, I was like, oh,
Yes.
where am I going to hold it? 'Cause I'm going to break it. But it's
So-
actually quite sturdy. It's a
Yes.
really nice
it's okay.
model.
This is like the third version of it. The first version is even bigger.
Wow.
The first
Wow.
version is about this size.
Yes.
About that size. But the problem is like it's not very stable. It's kind of wobbling a bit
Yes.
on them.
So
So
did
as
you-
it goes bigger, it's
Yeah.
yes.
20, what are we in now? 2022?
Yeah.
So 2020 at Brickvention. Did you attend Brickvention? Did you see the other bicycle
I-
models that were on display there?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so
I
there's a
didn't see-
Lego build. I think it was 2020. There's a Lego builder by the name of Mel, and she travels the world and she builds bikes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. So I'll send you her details later, and you can
Ah,
see.
okay,
yeah,
yeah,
she's
yeah,
built
sure.
like I don't know what the old school bike is. You know, the one with the big wheel. She's built that. She's built a couple of like bikes.
Ah, I see.
Where this one's more technical, where hers is like
Yeah.
pretty. You know how they make
Yes.
them like over
I
pretty?
saw one in Denmark.
It was probably hers, yeah. So
Could've
she's,
been,
Probably.
yeah.
she's had a lot of displays over in
I
Denmark.
saw one of them.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
very the old school classical one with the
Yeah, I think
like-
that's it. I'll have to have a proper
That was
look later.
probably-
But
yeah,
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 it was like
Mm.
she's been big into bike building because she's fascinated because Lego is generically just a square brick, right?
yes.
Where he obviously got the big Technic gear, but it's very
Yep.
hard.
No, I started this one without the Technic gears. I
Wow.
actually started with the tube, the flexible
Yeah,
tube,
yeah,
to
yeah.
connect it to the Technic piece, the 1x2 piece, just connect it all around.
Yeah, wow.
Yes, I started with that, but I soon I find that that's not reliable. That's
Yeah,
not
not practical,
That's not
yeah.
practical
Yeah.
to produce as a product. So I have to change. I have to shrink the whole model. Sorry, I have to make it a bit smaller to actually make it more stable that it can stand by itself.
I think
So
it's
that's-
think it's pretty amazing, don't you,
It
Caroline?
is. It's
Thank you,
yes.
yeah.
I keep looking at it because it's all of the intricacies of it.
Yes,
Well, and I think I think it will become a submission. I think they'll
Hopefully.
approve it because
hopefully
it's
yes.
promoting, health and it's fitness and
And they're all
Yes,
about
yes,
bikes
yes.
in Denmark, in
Yeah.
Finland, aren't they?
Yes,
they're everywhere.
Yes,
They're
yes,
like-
everywhere.
I was like trying to convince them to let me take. At Denmark, there's like Lego bikes. They're like painted yellow and they got Lego logos.
Yes.
And I was like, "Can I take one home?" They're like, "No." I was like, well, look how cool it is. Like,
No, you can't fit that into
Yes.
your luggage, unfortunately.
but yeah, thank you so much for joining us, Donny.
Oh,
We
thank you for
appreciate
inviting
you
me,
taking
yes.
the time out of your day, coming to visit us, showing us these amazing Lego
Amazing.
Ideas project. I will link it down below. I will also link Donny's, like Instagram
Social
and stuff, and
media
I'll always link
accounts, yes.
the grand piano where you can buy it from us. Like, it's an amazing set. You should pick it up before, because Lego's at the point of time now where they're retiring random things. I'm not saying they will retire it anytime soon, but don't take the
Not,
risk.
not sure
Let's
about
support
this one.
Donny.
Yes.
Please support Donny.
Thank you.
Because that way he gets 1% of sales. Then he can build more amazing Lego sets. Thank you so much, Donny.